I'm just going to say it because the thing was, is then the prosecution said, they stood up, and I'm thinking, okay, what do they got to say? And he goes, Miss Fair, is it true that you study a book called A Course in Miracles? And I said, oh, really? And I said, yes, it is true that I study a book called A Course in Miracles. And he goes, and Miss Fair, in this book called A Course in Miracles, do they not say that everything that is, like, not truth is an illusion, Miss Fair? And I said, yes, it is. And he said, so what you're telling me is that if someone gets cancer, he said, they actually asked for that to happen. Is that true, Miss Fair? And I said, well, actually, it was such a the Holy Spirit just totally, because I had no idea. The Spirit just spoke through me. I said, well, actually, I was a nurse. And I said, and when I was a nurse, and then all of a sudden I heard, objection. And then that's when the judge said, oh, no, I want to hear what she got to say. And I said, well, I was actually a nurse. I said, and when I was a nurse, I said, what you actually could see is people's belief systems. I said, 10 people could get cancer, and every one of them would react differently according to their belief system. I said, and so, you know, it was really, that showed me the power of that, you know, the power of thought and the power of our mind. And he must not have any more information. And then he said, so, and Miss Fair, so this book, A Course in Miracles, he said, is this a book that is, you know, known? Is this what you teach in your Jesus Christ teaching? Or whatever he was saying. I said, I'll tell you something right now. And I looked right at the jury and everything. I said, I'll tell you something right now. I said, I am here representing Jesus Christ's original teachings, that forgiveness heals, and that love is the answer. And I said, and I don't care what book I study. I said, if that's a book I study, then that's the book I study, but I am here to represent God, and I am here to tell you that forgiveness is the answer. And I said, and that's the way that it is. And well, this is a guy's
courtroom.
Well, it was got all quiet, and then he goes, no further questions. And listen, I walked, and then it was like, okay, you're done. And I just looked at the jury because I really didn't listen to God's truth. I don't care if he gets out of prison or gets off death row or not. I'm just here to represent God. I got no outcome, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to be happy whether you're in jail or you're not in jail. I got no agenda. I was just here to say what I needed to say. And so I was kind of like, see you later, Freeman. You know, like, but the thing was, is I want to say this because something happened when I was telling him, when I was joining with him, it was like we were in this total holy instant. He was totally locked in my eyes, and I was totally joined with him in truth. And I was there communing with him, like sharing total truth with him, and he was totally receiving it. And there was an experience that I can't even tell you that I experienced that was almost like I was locked into this out-of-time sequence kind of experience with, like, someone accepting and me, you know, it was like, almost like, you know, just like probably what God feels when we accept the truth or something. I don't know.
It's a joining of
it was like he accepted, he actually received what I gave him. And I could feel it.
And then you receive it.
And then I received it. Well, we could feel it.
Yeah.
And we were locked into it. And he was receiving it. It was almost like he was desperate, and he took it. And it was like, you know, we were like, oh, like that was all that needed to happen. I knew that that was all that needed to happen for me to be there with him. And I walked out of there, and listen, I walked out and I walked past all the people in the thing. They were going, like, they're like, oh my God. And when my son was there, he was around the corner. He goes, holy shit, Mom, that was powerful. He goes, that's just a miracle that I could see this, right? And he was so beautiful. And then it was like done. My job was done, and I walked out of the courtroom. And I didn't have any care one way or the other. He actually did not get off death row. But they told me to be prepared that I'll probably be going to the Supreme Court. But I actually don't feel, I don't feel like I need to do anything more.
Yeah.
Like if they want to use something, but I don't feel like, no, I'm totally complete in my function that I came to fulfill with God. And so, yeah.
I think it's so beautiful because it's like, it's the depth of innocence.
Yeah.
Forgiving murder.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's just
Well, the wonderful
forgive
gift is
deeply.
that forgiveness heals, and that we have the ability to do that, and to actually join in truth, which is in the present moment, in the holy instant. Like, that's where God is, and for me to stay in my relationship with God, I would never keep any thought of anything that's not real. For me to be in, any time that I can be in any relationship that I can experience the love of God, I'm going to go for it, man. And to that depth, I was like totally, I felt, well, listen, it actually hit me the next day. I have to tell you the depth that I was bawling and everything, just the gift that I had, that I felt like I was given from God. That this was, I'd never had any idea till after I did it.
Right. The expansion.
The expansion of my own mind. I'm like, oh my God, that was really, and nothing special, no ego. I don't want nothing that's all dirty to think that there's some special with it. It just seemed like that seemed to be, and for me, all it does is it makes my conviction in God even more. So I'm here to witness to the glory of God, and that forgiveness heals, and that's all that I'm here to do, and that He gave me another great parable to share with the world, that, you know, that any thought of anything that is not love is not real, and that's why you can forgive it and let it go, and the value of joining in God instead of fear is a miracle, and it's our experience with our Creator. It keeps us in our experience with the Creator.
Yeah, it's like what the Course says about forgiveness is realizing what I thought I did to my brother has not occurred, or what I thought my brother did to me has not occurred.
Right.
So,
it's just a memory that I want to keep in my mind to keep me
in hell.
In hell, basically. That I want to hold this sword instead of laying down the sword. And, you know, Jesus says that I am only upset because of my interpretation. Lay down the sword immediately.
There's so many things that, you know, we think we can't get over.
Right.
You know, and that's what I love about this parable is, you know, Lisa's walked through it, and it can happen no matter how intense or horrible it seems. It's like it's all available to us to do that same thing. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, and that's why everything else is just like you just see, like, you know, any thoughts that I have that come up in my mind, that's why you just see the pettiness of them. Like, you just see, why would I keep anything like that? They come, they go. It's just like, you know, you just, because the value
painful.
Right, like, what am I into pain? I mean, the whole thing was, is when I remember when I realized that thought of me being a victim was really an identity that I wanted to keep.
Right, it gave you a lot of
woe is
attention,
me.
yeah.
You know all the bad things that have happened to me.
Yeah.
That story is like, the ego would love that story. My guy's sister was murdered.
Right.
And, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a real ego booster, believe me. Yeah. And so it's like I had all these stories that the ego was using to keep me in hell. And now it's like that identity of a victim or anything that is a problem outside myself, or you know, because you didn't love me, because you treated me that way. They're all lies.
Yeah, and the thing is that I've noticed about you too is that you really have given that story up. It's only called forth when it's for healing.
Right.
You know, how people can carry on with their stories because they need that ego identification with the story. And you know, that's completely let go of with you. I've seen it.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Suzanne.
I love you.
You too.